Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 2009 collector's edition. So this is an ehobby Japanese exclusive figure known as Black Megatron, because as I'm sure you can tell there, that is the original Megatron mould and indeed gun there, but of course with the black colouring on the barrel and inside, and indeed a brown handle. So what we're going to do with this video, I am going to literally open it up. It is a sealed item. We're going to have a look at him in his gun mode and indeed the robot mode. There's a couple of things I'm not going to do, and I'll explain why in a second, but because he's a Megatron figure, we can see how he looks and compares with the original Takara version of him, with the gunmetal grey no chrome and the blue inner legs, and of course with the Hasbro version which had the inner red legs and indeed the chrome figures. So as I mentioned, this is the 2009, so this is a reissue of the 2001 reissue that ehobby did, but in a different colour scheme. Now for those of you who are unaware, ehobby is a company that works directly in line with Takara Tomy. They use all their original moulds, including the Diaclone moulds obviously, which these were, to make and release figures that never came out during the Generation 1 days. So what we've got here on the back is of course the 1984 original battle scene, Optimus Prime, Starscream, basically all of the old Diaclone moulds. Now as I start to open this up, the reason why I'm not going to show you a lot of the things is because, crazily enough, with this being the brown plastic on there and indeed on his fists that come out, and this was being made in 2009. 2009 is around about the last reported cases of gold plastic syndrome. Stratosphere, the figure that was released in the Revenge of the Fallen toy line, suffered from it, and indeed if you're new to this channel or if you want to see me breaking a figure, it's called the Curse of Gold Plastic Syndrome with the figure Stratosphere. He literally snaps in my hands as I was transforming him, so I'm going to be super careful with this guy. I'm not going to attach any of the stock or anything to it because it does advise you absolutely 100% not to. Same as with not putting the sword in his hands, all for the same reason, because it's gold plastic syndrome. And if people don't know what that is, basically the particles and chemicals that were in gold plastic didn't stand the test of time, and unfortunately for some collectors they do just shatter and break. So what we've got here, we've got the bullets, because of course, I'm not sure if you remember, the original microman micro change guns did actually fire pellets. That's the more common accessory you're used to seeing Megatron hold. I'm going to put the scope on there, because that's on the top, which is black, but I'm not going to put this sword in his hand. That sword is an exact replica with the chrome of what the original Takara Megatron used, rather than having any of the scopes. So yeah, I've been after this figure as well for quite some time, and again, for those of you who are unaware, ehobby just make these amazing figures. They use the grapple mold and you painted it green, exactly the same as obviously what Hauler was. We got the original versions of deep cover, clamp down, etc., using the original side swipe mold, and I just love the fact that they do these. This has still got a cover on it as well by the looks of it. Yes, it has. There we go. So you've got a clamshell and indeed a cover. So I'm going to take this part off. We're going to have a look at this. Yeah, you can see it's brown, but you can also see, I suppose, the fact that it is the gold. I'm really panicking now about doing anything with this. I didn't realise it was as bad or as widespread as I've just read, to be honest. I'm going to take the scope out. That's about it. I'll show you the sword by all means. I will show you the sword, but I'm not going to attach it. The sword is something that's really interesting. I'm panicking now where to put that. Let's see if I can take this out. I actually can't. It's totally stuck in. Oh yes, I can. Here we go. You'll have to excuse the noise as I pull this out. There was the sword. In fact, I'll show you how it went. So with that 5mm peg then, if I just, in fact, I'm going to move the rest of this out of the way because, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to do anything else with them. So what I'll show you is using the original Megatron. This was, of course, how you would. And in fact, if you look at any of the old Takara things for the original Megatron, this is pretty much how he was displayed. You'd have that in there, and that part would allow him to rest with that in. Excuse the glare, that's not something you don't see very much with nowadays figures, but the chrome on this is spectacular. So there's the sword. I'm just going to take that out of the way, move him out of the way, and we can have a quick look now at the gun itself, or the P38, as we can see. And once again, you get that instant feeling of, you know, weight, because it's loads of it's made of die cast. I'm really panicking now holding this here. And as I said, the reason why it's called Black Megatron is because of all of this. While we're here, is that going to balance? I'm not even going to risk it. I'm going to show you what's inside here. So this is the thing which come with him. So he does have stickers. Oh, am I going to have to open it? Again, I'm in one of these conundrums. Do I put the stickers on? I think I will do. I think I'll save it for another video, because as I say, I've devalued it instantly by opening it, which I'm not bothered, because it's going in my collection and I want to display it. So I probably will attach the stickers. That's the standard Megatron sticker thing, but from the old days in G1, it was just folded in half. There is the instructions. But fingers crossed, I've changed a Megatron, transformed him enough times to know how to do it. And there indeed is the collector's cards, which always came with the figures, which have their tech specs and their stats at the bottom. And again, they're brilliant. Right, here we go. Well, at least if I'm videoing it, maybe more people can watch it when it goes wrong. So let's very carefully, in fact, let's have another look at it. Let's have a look at that there. As you see, the stock there, I'm not going to attempt that. I can put this on here though, so of course I can. I can slide this over. He says completely forgetting. No, I'm sure you slide it from the front. You do. It's just brand new. There we go. Wow, that's stiff. There you go. Looks good. It looks really good. You can see, and I you know, it is very sad. And in fact, the most comments I get on any videos, and just in general on this channel, is I wish we could have Megatron as a gun again. But you can see when they look like that exactly why you can't. That is a handheld gun. You can hear the spring on there and the venom, because again, if I wanted to, I could put the bullets in there and they would fire, no issues whatsoever. All right, let's very, very carefully. Now, luckily, on the inside of this, it is just metal, so it's not the gold plastic. So I'm going to do my very best. This is so stiff. I probably should have done this off camera. Oh, come on. I've just said how easy it is to transform a Megatron figure, and look at the problems that I'm having. Right, that's lifted that up. So that now means that I can separate these very carefully. This should now come around and totally out of the way. I must confess, if anybody's transformed a Megatron figure before in the past, they're probably looking at me thinking I'm making a right job of this, but that's because I'm trying to not hold any of this brown part, because I've just, as I say, completely scared myself silly reading what I just did. So now I've got it pretty much done. And again, reaching around from the camera doesn't help either. This was tough enough to transform, as in fiddly enough, shall we say, before I now knew what I know about this. Right, let's bring these legs right around. This is beyond stiff. Oh my days. Absolutely. What am I doing? All right, so there's that. Is that all the way out? I think it might be. I think it is. I'm going to push the feet forward, and if he stands, yeah, I'm not, that'll do me. I think this one's slightly lower. I'm not going to even bother attempting that. I'm going to do that like that. I'm going to bring the arms very carefully out. He does look a bit bare without the stickers, I've got to confess, but at the moment, not in this video. I've wasted enough of your time so far just trying to get this into the robot mode. Is it going to go without me having to put too much pressure on? Just about. Let's take this down, swivel it down, lift the arm up, swivel it back, bring that underneath. You can actually position Megatron's barrel above him like in the Generation 1 cartoon. I've done that in another video. I just want to thank everybody if you're still watching right now, because this probably must be one of the most boring videos you've ever seen. It is me transforming very badly a Generation 1 Megatron that, oh phew, I've obviously done numerous times, but still finding it really scary. So let's bring this right down, straighten this up. Oh no, and now I've just pulled that out. Luckily enough, that clips right in, he says. Well, there you go. It was worthwhile watching for that reason. And thank heavens And I can honestly say I've never done that in any of the other Megatrons I've ever done this to. So, wow. Come on, come down for me. Lean in. I can't believe this. Right, I'm going to now try and bring these fists out, because again, these are the gold plastic we're on about. Out it comes. This one's coming out. The things I'll do for a video now, it's not even intentional. I just want to show you guys and showcase as many different figures that you probably haven't seen. The problem is that a lot of them, like these, are fragile, or indeed quite tricky. So what is going on there? There we go. Now it's coming down. I just needed to apply that little bit of pressure at the back. And again, apologies for the glare, but there we have black Megatron. So the head sculpt is different. I'm going to work out how to click all that back in a minute. You can, not different, sorry, completely different color schemes. There you can see we've got the inside of the fists, which are all the gold plastic, the brown, and indeed the side of the legs, of course. One final thing, and I really wish I hadn't have took this off now. I'm just going to slide this over, and then believe you me, this is going on a shelf, never to be touched again. And I can do some of the final, oh my days. I think I should do these videos and connect myself up to a heart monitor just to sort of see what happens, because that's slid down now typically, hasn't it? Anyway, right, yeah, typical black Megatron. Let's counterbalance you there. Let's bring normal Megatron in on this side, and let's bring Takara Megatron in there. And you can see what I mean. He didn't even have the attachment there to be able to attach the scope to it. Anyway, I hope that wasn't incredibly boring for you. I thank you for sticking right through till the end, even if you did, because it wasn't the greatest, I will admit it, but at least I've managed to get another figure reviewed and able to show you guys that you've probably not seen before anyway. So that's the purpose and the main goal of this channel. In fact, what I mentioned before, there you are, you see I've spun that at the back, so it is pretty much like the cartoon, whereas with the other two, because they're more expensive, I've just put them the way they're supposed to go. Anyway, that is the ehobby 2009 Japanese exclusive black Megatron. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and again, thanks for watching. Take care.